The Unstuff America podcast is hosted by the most organized man in America, Andrew Mellen. Listen in for Andrew's take on America's clutter crisis. From guns to gold, he dives deep into America's self-destructive obsession with possession and how that impacts the American dream. Get real-life tools and strategies to take responsibility, set yourself free, and live your values every day. And now, Andrew Mellen.
Happy birthday, America, and welcome to another episode of Unstuff America. I'm your host, Andrew Mellen, and I'm delighted that you're here with me today. We also want to wish a happy birthday to Unstuff America, the podcast. We are exactly 1 year old today. It was 1 year ago today that we launched this podcast, and what a year it has been. Thank you for joining us on this journey, listening and watching the podcast over the past year. I know that I have learned a ton, and I'm betting that you have as well. So I'd love to hear what you think about the podcast, what you've loved, what you've hated, what you don't really care that much about. For me, I've learned that there are so many people out there in the US and beyond who are committed to a quality of life that is inclusive and sustainable in every sense of those words. You know, I don't want this to be a downer, but we waste so much here in America. We waste our natural resources that come from the earth. We waste opportunities to learn from the natural world all around us, the plants and animals that we coexist with as humans. And we waste the natural resources that reside in each human being. I find the mindset that some people have something to contribute and others don't to be so limiting. There is so much more to be gained by including people than by turning them away on every level, from the lunchroom at school to our national borders. The momentary rush one might experience by feeling special at the expense of someone else, it pales in comparison to the rush I have felt when making room for someone to join whatever group I'm in. And I've experienced it on both sides of that fence. I have been the person who has been shut out of groups, and I have been the person who's been in a position to allow people or refuse people access to a group. I'm telling you, it always feels better to make room for somebody. Whatever little club or clique you might belong to where you feel like, well, we've got the secret or we've got the answer, and that keeps us isolated from other people. I know that the alternative to that, by opening your arms and letting another person in, always yields better results. I see it in my own business, which isn't to say that the business was a closed system where I was turning people away, but in the last year, we have made room for people to come into the team and join us. And the result, the expansiveness, the ability to reach more people, help more people to unstuff their life, to simplify their lives, to manage their time better, to set themselves free from clutter and disorganization. These are things I could not do by myself. So I have my own firsthand knowledge, and I'm going to bet that each and every one of us has had that experience where we have been, for whatever reason, excluded from a group, and it feels like crap. I mean, I don't know that it ever felt good. We might have, well, I'll speak for myself. I have certainly done a sour grapes thing where I've taken the rejection and turned it into something that didn't feel quite so bad. But the truth is, if I wanted to be there, I wanted to be there, and not being allowed to be there sucked. So with that, I just want to say that I'm committed to doing better every day. You know, I am not perfect, and I fall short most days. At the end of every day, I do take an inventory, and I look at what I was successful at and where I failed. And I will gladly admit that every day there has been an opportunity, at least one opportunity, to bring more love into an experience. And being trapped in fear in that moment, I couldn't do it. And, the bad news is that I have a mess to clean up as a result. The good news is that tomorrow's another day, and I have another opportunity or more opportunities to try it again. So I'm guessing we all have room for growth. And as you look forward from this imperfect day of independence, I want you to ask yourself, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want to stand for? How do you want to spend your time? And don't believe for a second that whatever you dream of can't be yours, because it can be, if you're willing to pay the price. I know that again in my own personal life. Things have cost me more money than I think they should. And I'm not talking only about money, right? I'm talking about metaphorically speaking as well as literally speaking. The price might have been fixed. It might have been an unrealistic price. It might have been unfair. It might have been more than my neighbor paid. It doesn't matter. If I wanted the experience enough, I was willing to pay for it. And I feel like that is a universal. I think it doesn't matter who sets the price. If you're willing to pay it, you can have whatever you want. I firmly believe that. This business wouldn't exist. The book wouldn't exist. We wouldn't have an opportunity to talk to you or to do any of the work that we do out in the world if we waited for permission to do things. I didn't wait for permission to launch this podcast. You don't need to wait for permission to do anything. You have permission, and I'm not the person to give it to you. You will give it to yourself. So today, this Independence Day and every day going forward, set yourself free. If the things that are surrounding you do not serve you, if they are not supporting you in answering the questions of what do you want your life to be for, what do you want to accomplish, and what do you want to experience, then those things don't belong around you. They are holding you back, and they are obstacles between you and the answers to those questions. Let them go. It's just stuff. There's always an opportunity to choose more love and less stuff. So on this Independence Day, I encourage you, set yourself free and set yourself free every day going forward. This is the end of this round of Unstuff America podcast. We may be back in the future with other broadcasts, but for now, we're calling it a day. So it's been a full year. It's been an amazing ride. Thank you very much for listening. You'll find all the old versions, all the old episodes of the podcast. You'll find them on YouTube. You'll find them on our webpage. You'll find them at Podbean, iTunes. Please listen. Like us if you like us. If you don't like us, I guess you'll keep that a secret. And let me know, but don't give us a negative review. And thank you. Thank you, America. Thank you, listeners. Thank you for being here and for allowing us this platform to share. More love, less stuff.